Testing one, two, testing, you guys. As you can see, I'm taking my 10-minute break. So I want to come here and just talk about something because this was on my mind. Let me click out of here. You guys are going to see me right now. I think I can click out of here. All right, there I am. All right, let's get into it, you guys. I just want to come here and talk about this non-private that I just had. Let me stop my show. Okay, I just stopped my show. So this is the thing, right? So I'm over here and I'm like, I'm not feeling energetic really. I'm not feeling like getting up, getting in the groove, right? I've been chomping on nuts right here, my little trail mix that I made, right? I've been chomping on these, really the pecans, the cashews, banana chips, and cranberries and coconut, right? Chomping on that, and I just don't have the energy, you guys. And let me tell you, so this is what happened. I log in, make a long story short. I'm chit chatting with one of my guys. He has the crutch fetish, right? For those that know, you know. I don't even give the details of the crutch fetish. Let your imagination go where it may when it comes to crutches. Crutch fetish. These are, okay, fine, I'll go there. Usually these are mixed. I only got 10 minutes to say this. These are usually men that are really into, already turned off my, so I don't have 10 minutes. I can stay here as long as I want. Anyway, these are men that are turned on by women they have to care for them, cater to them, and things of that nature. So this man, we're in a free chat, y'all. And don't make this mistake. Don't make this mistake. We're in a free chat, chit chatting. And I guess I was using him. I had to stay consciously aware of this right here. I was using him, and I like the fetish. Don't get me wrong. I love that fetish. It's one of my favorites. But I was using him also to get my energy, to get my mojo, because I just had been on for maybe not even really 30 minutes. I would say maybe about 15 minutes straight through. And I spent 15 minutes in free chat talking to this guy, chopping it up with him about his fetish. Now, when it got to the last, I say 5 minutes of the conversation, he might have already gotten his rocks off. Let's be clear about that. So anytime you're entertaining entertaining men in free chat and they're not tipping and they haven't taken you private, and how much talking is too much talking, and you know that this is not going to be a sale. That's the whole mode, right? And so sure enough, and I know this stuff, but I'm using him to also get into the rhythm, right? 15, 20 minutes on. But most of my time is spent talking to him about, mind you, a fetish that I pretty much like. It wasn't like he was getting on my nerves, but by the time I got to the bottom of the conversation, so to speak, I asked him, I'm teasing, I'm taunting, I'm like, hey, there's some questions I have for you. Let's go over to a private, because I'm not sure if there's certain things that we can share in free chat, which in some ways is accurate, in some ways it's not, depending on what site you work on. And so, and we're not talking about anything taboo. It's just that when I'm talking to a guy in free chat, I like the idea, I look at it realistically. We're having a chat in public. Let's go to private and have this conversation, because you feel comfortable enough to share all this right here, but I'm going to feel even more comfortable to elaborate on your fantasy in a private, not just because I'm getting paid to do it, but because now I can be more free and be more open, because I don't want to spend that energy in a free chat and of course stand at the risk and get absolutely zero. So to know that he didn't tip me, neither did he take me private. And so I get to the very end, he says he's at work. And this is what I want to put emphasis, you guys. And I told him, I said, if you have enough time to talk to me, to do all this talking in free chat, and you're at work, what risk is there to take me private, right? He says because he knows if he took me private, he would just explode, right? He would just whatever. And my thing is that by this conversation alone, unless I've done anything extra different, now because it's a crutch fetish, these are men that are into women that wear ace bandages, obviously walk on crutches. They will often ask you, do you have crutches laying around? Did you borrow somebody's? Do you have a walker? Do you have a cane? And this goes into the place of, I'm calling it the caregiver fetish, but I don't even want to call it fetish, but caregiver role play is more related to role play, because fetish, the difference between, I'll come back later, but the difference between fetishes and role play for the most part is that role play can be very detailed, can be very broad, it's so much that can go on role play, and role play can become continuous, right? And surely if you're talking to a guy that's into fetishes, you can play a role wrapped around, you know what I'm saying, regarding that fetish. But what I am saying, usually fetishes are more direct. You know, they're more of a, in other words, when guys like my nails, whether I role play or not with them, that still is going to be what turns them on. So even just me talking about nails is going to turn them on. And so with this guy, just talking about crutches turns him on. Just talking about caregiving, just talking about being a innate care person to someone. And I asked him, and mind you, it was my fault. All right, I take accountability, as they say these days. It was my fault because I led him on. I'm just talking and talking because, again, I do like my job and I like the curiosity that I have regarding particular. That's how I get educated. I'm not so educated because I am a certified sex educator. I'm educated primarily in this business because I ask questions, right? You get educated by researching, asking questions, right? So I say all that to say, so we never went into private. And then, of course, he hits me with that very thing at the very end as I'm hitting it with him. What time are you going to be on? Remember what I said, or how long you're going to be on. Remember what I said, ladies. When they start asking you, what time will you be on, or will you be coming back, or how long you'll be on, they are not ready to spend. They're just not ready to spend for whatever the reason they give you, be it the truth or a lie. But in this case, I don't know. So I said, well, he says, I'm at work. I said, well, heck, if you're at work and you got time to sit here and free chat, emphasis here, free chat, talking to me about something that's turning you on. I asked him, is this making you the opposite of soft? And he said, yes. I mean, it's all in the conversation. In fact, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I had to, I cut out my screen recording, because the conversation is on this side and it's all up and down, and not in the type of up and down you might think. It's not that. I'm just kidding. It's all up and down of me just going back and forth. And again, the rapport was cool, but as a webcam model, as a saleswoman, as a salesperson, as a commission-based woman, sometimes we can talk ourselves not out of a sale per se, but we can give too much to not too soon, but just give too much to where they already. And again, there's really no exact way to judge if someone's telling you the truth, if someone's not being honest, because again, in this business, as long as I've been in here, sometimes men are telling the truth, but even the truth doesn't benefit me at all. Remember we talked about how I describe, being a webcam model is like buyers are liars. And I talked about being a telemarketer for years and how I compared the two, because this is a commission-based gig. We have to be, we're both the opener and the closer, right? We had that conversation. So you can spend a lot of time opening up the conversation, bringing people in, and we got to be skillful enough to know, do we have them or do we don't? If we don't, let them go. In other words, what I said to him after the 15 minutes had passed, I should have said it to him in the first 5 minutes. And I just feel like I messed up there, y'all. I mean, again, I've been in this business so long, but I just feel like I knew I could have snagged that or snatched that. You get what I'm saying? And I could have had a really good private, because normally in that category, people do very well. It's usually a long private. In my experience, when I say long, I'm saying 15 minutes plus. Obviously, because the conversation was that long. So I feel like I wasted time? No. Is my energy up now? Yes. So the main goal was to get in the rhythm, get up your momentum. I even thought about, do I really want to do this video right now while I'm still in camming mode? Because once you start your momentum in sales, any type of sales, you can't let these distractions throw you off, and then you get up and then you log off and then you go eat and then you go and do something else, and then and then you got to restart your energy again. For those that don't know, I'm 49. So when you talk about perimenopausal, I call it premenopausal, right before menopause. But all these energies, the lack of energy, like today, that's why I'm eating the trail mix, because of the nuts give you energy. Little cowgirl humor, but it's true. Nuts give you energy. My interactive toy is over there charging on my bed on my Jackery. Yeah, that's what I use it for, y'all, since it goes under my bed. But charging my interactive toy, because in hopes that the interactive toy will bring me at least, the tips and stuff. But I don't normally use my toy right here at StreamMate. By the way, I use it on Strip Chat because it's more of a playful site. Remember what I said? This site is more of where my fetishes, where all of my fetishes are, and Strip Chat is more geared towards my nails. So all I know is that I just want to log in to say that, y'all. I mean, to come and just vent, because I'm like, damn, like, it happens. You know what I mean? I spent too much time with him in free chat, and then I did it again a little bit with the next guy. And again, I think you guys will all understand this. It's just any type of sales you're in. Let's just say when you clock into work, right? Especially, again, sales. I don't care if you work at Starbucks. Any type where you're dealing in customer service, right? Let's go there. Just make it simple. When you first log into work, normally you're not usually energetic, especially if it's a morning shift. Now, I've been up since 7 a.m., about 6:30, 7 a.m. this morning, diddle-daddling around, just whatever. I'm on pretty early for a Saturday, believe it or not. It's 2 something p.m. and I'm on, and my stomach is just growling. I think I need to go eat. I don't know why, with my hormones and stuff, I stay like certain foods are just not turning me on anymore. It's just not. I just, and then of course I'm watching my salt intake, so I have to really eat foods that have flavor, whether I put salt on them or not. Just as a sidebar. So I don't know. Should I keep going is the question. And the keep going, sometimes people forget that you have to rest even in the keep going. That part you have to, like I taught many years, if you're not feeling it, if your rhythm is wonky, if you're a little bit off, log back in, I don't really feel like I need to completely log off for an hour. Thank God for StreamYard where they have a 10-minute break that you can take. But I do just feel like I feel like all of that, because it's hard. It was hard for me to get my energy right, and I haven't had coffee today because coffee, with the whole caffeine situation, I don't want that to have an issue with blood pressure, or have an issue with my headaches, or have an issue with just over the top hyper. As you guys probably already can tell, I'm already that. I don't need anything extra. I wanted more of a natural high. That's why I'm eating the nuts. I wanted I wanted a little bit more. I just wanted a natural pick me up, and I had an apple, this morning, and way about it's 2:35 in the afternoon. Any suggestions, you guys, for natural energy? Natural. I've never been into Red Bulls. We're not doing that with all the caffeine stuff. Sodas. We're not doing that. I'm a candy girl, so I'm like, ooh, sugar, but I don't want that to, have me go up and then crash, right? I don't know. I just do. I'm like, I don't know. I really don't. And I usually know. You guys know when I come here, I'll be do. But I had to come here and express, like, that threw me off because, it happens to the best of us, y'all. And I'm sitting there chit-chatting with him, never got the private. And it's not to say I'll never will. We know we're going to get our stuff. The right one always comes along, is my saying, right? You will always show up. But I think I just did too much in that free chat. And I just have a little bit of regret about that, because it was so good. It should have been a private. It was. I mean, for those that, if you guys understand that, the conversation can be so good and free, and you can focus on that one guy. This is like in life. You. How many of us ladies, we get on a dating site or dating? You start out with 4 guys, right, or whatever the case is, and then you hold on to that one and you forget about all the other ones. That's kind of what I feel like. Right? And we know that never works out in our favor. So I'm like, mind you, there were other guys jumping on, but the conversation we were having, was so good. And I'm like, well, what I've had to learn, just like in real life, this person, if I'm looking at it from a, my time is money, money is time. If I'm looking at it from that perspective, then, I just feel like I sold myself cheap. or and I told myself cheap because the conversation was quality. Don't get me wrong, it was quality. I liked it. I liked the fetish. We've done it before, but I just feel like I just feel like. And then he asked me what time will you be on, and and he may come back around. And I think he's one of my regular guys. I'm not sure. I don't remember. It didn't show it in his name. Usually it shows the name, and lets you know you guys had a private before a few times before. Or he's your top spender. This guy might have been new. Sometimes they change their names, and so even if he's your regular, if his name changed or he's using a different credit card, then that he did before with a different let's just say he took a break from the site and then got back on, then his name will be different, and you may not be able to recognize, and it may not show that you had him before. So with that being said, what's the lesson, right? In closing, or returning back to my show, not immediately ask for a private, but don't get so caught up in the conversation, even if it's the fetish, the role play, or the thing that you actually like. Because we as women in this business, we can say, at least I'm this way. Some people are not this way, maybe because I'm neurodivergent, but I'm the type of person, I cannot really sell anything unless I really, really feel, wow, it got cloudy all of a sudden. That's weird. Oh, that I do that to my kids all the time. My grown children, I'll be like, right? Because you're like, that was weird. That was weird, y'all. Have you ever been sunny and today's a bizarre. What's today's date? And now I gotta get over to my spiritual side because this is a little strange. That was weird. Now the sun's coming back out, but it just went like doomsday. Ooh. Especially mine. I gotta fix my nails. Man, I have to. Yeah, it's a lot going on. But anyway, so yeah. I guess don't. When you feel it in your spirit, I guess I can say in closing, when you feel it in your spirit that they're about to waste your time. But that's just it. I didn't feel that. See, that would have been, I wouldn't be here if that was the case, right? I would have been like I normally do. But this one threw me off because I was so into that conversation. I needed that energy. I needed that flow. And I got a goal to reach that part, right? And I still got, it's still early, right? Super early. I still can reach the goal. That's not the issue, if I can reach it or not. It's just like, when you have to even for those, I'll speak this, and this is more on a serious note, even for those who have to deal with depression, right? And struggling with energy and getting up out of the bed and struggling with logging in and struggling with showing up, you don't want your time wasted, right? Because it took so much of you to even get out the bed or get in front of the camera, do the makeup if you do makeup, and click on. So you may want that. In other words, in this business, I still like to connect with people. I'm that type of cam model. We're going to have a conversation. We can connect, but I'm also here to get paid, but I'm also naughty, and I'm, all these things, and that's all in my profile. But, it just, I don't know. I guess that the real lesson is, it just taught me, like, get out of there when they are not, they're not going to give you what you want to. And I asked him this. I said, he said he would never, because I said, are you into does this turn you on? Are you into pain or suffering? Do you is it sadistic or sadist? Do you like the pain and suffering that you see because someone is hurting, or their legs are hurting, or their legs are swollen, or because they're on crutches? He said, no, I would never be in anything where I would inflict pain on anyone. And I tell him, well, you're inflicting pain on me because you're not taking me into a private. And so that was a huge LOL moment for me. And so I laughed it off. But I was more disappointed in myself of how much I gave in that conversation, and just it didn't turn into a sale, right? So for those that are in sales, you understand that concept. When it's so good, so close, so good, but it doesn't turn into a sale, and and you're like, whoa, I really spent all that energy on that really, but guess what, y'all? Because I can't help but being me, little Miss Optimistic. Still, I still have to have the mindset though. He ain't the only one though, Jelena. He ain't the only one, Janae. He ain't the only one that's gonna come through. You gonna get your stuff. You gonna get your stuff and not even have to use as much energy. You're gonna get a private and not even gonna have to use no more than hello, how are you? Right? You're gonna get somebody's gonna take you in a private just because they think that you're cute, you're pretty. They like your crochet top, my crochet top, by the way, that I made. They're just gonna like you. They're not gonna spend no time chit chatting. They're just gonna just, hey, I like what I see. Let's go, right? And that's what I have to trust, and because I know it to be true. And so we can't sit up here, whether we're in the business or not. For the ladies that tune into me, we can't sit up here and harp on the one. Oh, I just knew he was my soulmate, or I knew that was my husband. I just knew that was my partner. I just knew that was my girl. I just knew it was the one. I just knew that job. I was this close. Everything was lined up. All that person had to do was do their part because I was doing mine. There was a connect. We could have been over there. We could have been having fun. He would have been satisfied. I would have been satisfied. I'd be like, yay. And guess what? Buyers are liars. It didn't happen. So, doesn't mean it's not going to. It just didn't happen with him. And it didn't happen because I think I was a little bit at fault. In other words, I wouldn't be feeling what I'm feeling now, right? I wouldn't be feeling what I'm feeling now if I had to just, hey, if you're not, again, I told him, if you're not available, come back and see me when you are available. But I should have said that in the beginning. So, is it safe to say that we can start posing questions in the beginning? What can we say in the beginning to know if a guy is ready? All right, which I'm gonna come back on it. I'm gonna write down some things, and I think I'm gonna share it with you guys. What can we say to them besides using the word, "Hey, let's go to private," right? Because even though some of the guys don't want to be rushed, don't want to be right. But what can you say? What are the key words, right? Buzzwords or whatever the case may be, to see if he's ready or not. And usually, let me see what usually works for me if I'm thinking this clearly. Normally it's an energetic thing with me. I don't ever really say, I don't really have to say it. Usually it's like I'm so playful and flirty to where that is enough usually to get a man to just go. I never wanted to be the type of cam model that was like, as soon as they start talking to me, I'm like, hey, let's go private. Hey, let's go private. Hey, let's go. I don't like the idea. Let me say that. I don't like the idea of having to beg, or even ask for what I think you should already know to do. I just don't. That just really taints my ego, spirit, and soul. I don't like to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't like to ask. I think you should kind of know, especially unless when men start doing that, I often ask them, "Are you new here?" Because sometimes men will come on and they don't know the rules, right? They don't know this, how the program works, so to speak, or the system works. So I will often ask guys, "Are you new here?" I should have asked that guy, have we had a private before? But anyway, I just wanted to come here and share that with you guys. Bye for now. Let me log back in. Not with that energy, right? But anyway, let's see what we get. I'm already irritated. It's not me smacking my lips. Ah. All right, let me quit playing around. All right, let me just chill out. I think I'm just in a hurry. I think that's what it is. Oh, come on. I think I need to just log off and then come back. Hello, tumbleweeds. Hello. Hi, Steve. Tumbleweeds. I love those tumbleweeds, tumbleweeds. Tumbleweeds, tumbleweeds, tumbleweeds. It's pretty damn slow round here. Tumbleweeds, tumbleweeds. Those freaking tumbleweeds, tumbleweeds, tumbleweeds. It's pretty slow around here. OMG. Now I got energy. I know, maybe I should go log off and go to the other site. Tumbleweeds, tumbleweeds. Ooh, tumbleweeds, tumbleweeds, tumbleweeds. It's pretty slow around here. Hello there. How are you? Tumbleweeds, tumbleweeds. Maybe I should stop saying that. That is manifesting. That's only making it worse. Alright. Let me think of another song. Money making, money making, money making, money making, money making. It's pretty fast around here. Anyways. Yeah. All right. That's my answer. I mean, after a while, I'm gonna wait 3 more minutes. Let me make sure it's 3 more minutes. It's 2:50, so at 2:53. Yep. Tumbleweeds, tumbleweeds. Tumbleweeds, tumbleweeds, oh tumbleweed. Pretty slow around here. Alright. I can't even wait to 2:53. I got to go. Alright, you guys. We'll see you later. I went ahead and stopped my show. Bye for now, you guys. I'll log back in and see how I do. It's coming. It's coming, ladies. It's coming. You're coming. They coming. We coming. The money's coming. Everything's coming. Okay. Bye for now. You'll hear me or see me in the next one. Kisses. La 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 la.